This story begins as it is fated to end, with hatred plunged through the chest of a god.
It's about me killing the god that I was made to kill.
Are my downfall.
I'll fix the problem.
Huh?
I'll make you dead.
What? Which limb do you take from them first?
Oh my god.
I am Litany, daughter of Queen Sigu, the first fallen, Lord of Death. Kill or be killed.
That's an overkill.
Oh, that's an 11.
13. That's a overkill. That's an overkill. You lose yourself to righteous fury.
Just get out of the way!
Our people must be strong.
Why am I like this? I am made of you!
This is my becoming.
This is my becoming!
What's the matter?
Let me fix that. It's smudged. Here.
Those cracks are sealing up.
They were never meant to be opened.
As she strains away from vengeance and hatred and fury and toward love.
And I would like to wield a power. Not my own. Theirs. And I will use it against them.
Litany, would you like to kill a god? Hello, one and all, and welcome to Last Hope Week. Oh my gosh.
Go ahead.
Thank you all so much for joining us to celebrate 5 years of Transplanar RPG with this very special mega rerun this week. No matter if you are tuning in for the first or the 100th time, we are Transplanar RPG, an all transgender, people of color led dark fantasy actual play channel telling stories set in an original non-colonial anti-orientalist multiverse. This means we stand against genocide and ethnic cleansing and support all oppressed peoples of this world struggling against injustice, imperialism, and colonization. We must use our voices to build solidarity and fight for the worlds we wish to see. So to that end, free Sudan, free DRC, free Palestine, abolish ICE, and free all oppressed peoples of this world. Thank you. And thank you all so much for showing up to support our story. If you're watching this right now, we are here to kick off our series rerun of GODKILLER Last Hope with episodes 1 and 2 tonight. But first, please allow me to introduce my fantabulously fabulous co-host for this evening, C. Thomas.
Oh, fantabulously fabulous. Thank you so much, my dear. Hi everyone, my name is C. I use they, them pronouns. My brain is melted because it's hot. It's hot. And I make, oh, hello, Bobo. Sorry. So rude. I'm introducing myself. Mod Bao is in the chat, so everyone be careful. He will ban you. I'm just super happy to be here and excited to get back into the last hope of it all, my beloved. That's all I have to say for myself for now.
Yay! Yeah, I can't wait to get into the last hope of it all either. Speaking of which, tonight we have the absolute pleasure of raising funds for Care for Gaza. That is our cause for the final week of the 5-year Channelversary on Transplanar. And if you don't know what Care for Gaza is, it is a on-the-ground organization in Gaza that delivers urgently necessary aid to Palestinians currently surviving a genocide. So we're hoping to smash $250 donated for this stream and the rest of the reruns. So use !donate in the Twitch chat to help us hit that goal and help us support a cause that is both urgent and very necessary right now. If you are in the YouTube live, our donation link is currently pinned to the top of chat. And we already have 2 donos in, totaling 55. Thank you so much to Northern Gale and Ghost Boy Does Art. We are less than $200 away from smashing that goal. I'd love to get it, love to hit 250 in advance of the rest of this incredible week. Speaking of which, See?
Did you miss out on watching Godkiller Last Hope when it first aired a year ago? Almost today? Are you just excited to return to the viciously divine world of Yaolan? Do you miss Tiansheng and the winds of change? I do. Either way, you're in luck because this week we are marathoning a rerun of the entire series of Godkiller Last Hope from start, right here, to finish on Friday. Tonight we are rewatching episodes 1 and 2, so stay tuned for both of those episodes re-airing tonight. And unlike previous weeks, we won't be making commentary on stream. This is a pure rerun stream. We'll get into it in a second, but we will be here to giggle, hee-hee, and ha-ha with all of you in chat. So I'm very, very excited for that. So why don't you get comfortable, grab your bingo cards, and get ready to enjoy the show.
Yes, C and I will also be enjoying the show in the backstage. Speaking of enjoying the show, here are some self-care tips. As Sam Starr, GM who just debuted on Transplaner this past Saturday. What?
Hold on,
Sam
quick
Starr?
brief aside, because that was so good. That stream was so good.
Yeah, that stream was incredible.
Yeah.
I need it to be a series yesterday.
Yeah.
Like I said in the Discord,
Yeah.
I love it and I need it to happen. But yes, as per some self-care tips, according to Sam Starr, Godkiller Last Hope is a dark fantasy actual play series that deals with content that may be triggering for some viewers. So content warnings for this rerun may include fantasy violence, death and killing, blood, trauma, grief, interpersonal conflict, demons, ghosts, divinity, emotional negligence by a parent, sacrifice, monsters, body horror, removal of limbs, heights and falling, and brief mentions of divine cannibalism, poverty, suicide missions, and spitting. If you ever need a reminder of these content warnings and you are in the Twitch chat, you can use !CW in the chat. Otherwise, C and I will be copy and pasting the content warnings into the YouTube chat, if that's where you're at.
Yeah. If you would like full timestamps for when those things come up, you can jump into the YouTube descriptions for, at the very least, episode 1. The timestamps may be slightly off because we are indeed doing a Twitch stream, and we'll have we had our starting soon screens and our break. But hey, those you can always check those timestamps for warnings about stuff like that, and we'll be in chat. So, with that out of the way, Connie, is it time to grab the popcorn and get to last hoping?
I sure bet it is. It's time to grab that popped cord and get to last scoping.
We're clearly very tired. And
I know,
it's
we're really
hot.
tired and the heat is
It's
melting
really
our
hot.
brain. Yeah. It's
All
really,
right,
really hot.
transplaners, let's do this.
Welcome to Godkiller Last Hope. My name is Zoe Williams, and as the dramaturg for this production, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the viciously divine world of the cradle. Last Hope is a dark fantasy series that deals with heavy topics, and content warnings will be shared before the show begins. Last Hope is performed live and in studio by Connie Chong and C. Thomas.
Godkiller Last Hope is a dark fantasy actual play series that deals with serious and potentially triggering topics. Viewer discretion is advised. Content warnings for this episode include fantasy violence, death, killing, blood, emotional negligence by a parent, sacrifice, trauma, grief, interpersonal conflict, demons, ghosts, monsters, body horror, divinity, and brief mentions of divine cannibalism, suicide missions, and spitting.
This is not a story about killing gods.
Yes, it is.
This is not a story about redemption.
Yes, it is.
This is a story about one thing, and one thing only.
Bullshit. This is my story.
This is your story, told from the mouths of gods.
No, it's not. This is my story, and I'm the one telling it this time, and I know what it's about. It's about purpose. It's about redemption. It is about redemption. It's about me killing the god that I was made to kill. It's about seeing that clear line and walking from beginning to end, which some people might mistake for ruthlessness, but I know it's just another word for absolution.
Maybe. 你说的话有道理. But maybe not. This is a story about you, Litany, the God Killer, and your mortal heart.
Bullshit.
Have a seat, Litany.
That's not what my story is about.
Then why couldn't you kill me?
I tried. I had your heart in my hands. I could feel it. I wanted to. I was supposed to. I was made to. But you didn't die. You didn't.
This story begins as it is fated to end, with hatred plunged through the chest of a god. Litany, your hand is buried fingers to hilt in the chest of the immortal Emperor Long Du, devourer of the devouring, grand adjudicator of the game, sovereign on high of Yaolan, the amethyst dragon. Blood patters onto the immaculate wooden floorboards of the Hall of Peerless Destiny, the throne room of the City of Heaven, the realm of gods. And this blood is red. The color of a mortal's blood, the color of the blood that runs through your veins. Long Du inhales once, sharply. Her hair is long, long as the shattered river, as dark as the void between stars. Her face is an aberration of beauty, much too handsome for mortal eyes to behold, and yet you behold it. And Long Du says to you, what are you?
I am a litany of hatred, and I was born to kill you. So die! Why won't you die?
And as you twist your hand inside her chest, you feel the crimson running between your fingers, and you feel something warm. Your home is cold. You are cold. All you have ever known is cold. This warmth sits strange and heavy against your flesh. And the immortal emperor says, a litany of hatred. And something similar to familiarity glimmers in her eyes. She blinks and she looks at you with those dark eyes, those wine dark eyes, as dark as a storm-tossed sea. And you know she's trying to see you, but something's preventing her from fully seeing you. You know what it is. She doesn't. Your mother's protection. And Long Du says, well, no matter who you are, no matter what you are, I am the immortal Emperor of Heaven, and you have attempted to break the law of abstention.
No, I'm going to do it. You're going to die.
A god cannot kill another god. It is forbidden. We cannot bring back the devourer. I cannot allow this to go unpunished. And she puts her hand down against your wrist and starts to pull your hand out of her chest. Do you resist?
I do resist with everything I have.
Okay, I need you to tempt fate.
Oh God. Why wasn't I ready for that?
All right, so when you want to tempt fate, roll 2d6 and say what perilous feat you're trying to accomplish.
I was born for this. I was made for this. I'm supposed to kill her. I'm going to kill her. And that is the perilous feat that I'm still, even as she's pulling my hand out of her chest, trying to accomplish.
Okay, so you're gonna have to also add one for each true statement. One of these three, a skilled ally is lending you a hand.
No.
You are completely alone. You have no other options.
There is no other option.
That's true. And you're far from any god that wishes you harm.
That is not true at all.
Nope, she's trying to get rid of you. So that's a +2.
Okay. 5, 3, +2, 10.
That's a 10. That's an overkill. So you triumph over this specific ordeal, but attract the attention of your enemies. They react immediately. I think it's pretty obvious what happens here. Okay, so she pushes your hand out of her chest, and by you triumphing, this means she doesn't break your arm off of your body. But with her other hand, she draws the sword that's been sheathed at her waist. And you see a tempered diamond edge coming out, a noise like song, as it comes out of the sheath. And it's a translucent blade, pure diamond. And it catches the light, filtering through the tall windows, coming into the Hall of Peerless Destiny perfectly. You recognize this blade. Your mother has told you about this, has prepared you for this moment. This is absolution. It was once named malice. I'm sorry for this.
No, 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 no!
I don't want to do this. But a breaking of the edict cannot go unpunished.
You must die, you must die!
I don't know what you are, for you are not any mortal I have seen, nor cultivator, nor god, nor demon. But what you do ends tonight. And she draws absolution back. How do you guard against it?
2 hands clasped in prayer in front of their chest.
Okay. The sword comes forward, the point comes in, and you grab it. For a second, you think you can still it. For a second, you think you'll be able to maybe even break it to win here. But then she actually applies strength. This whole time, she had been merciful toward you. And now that mercy breaks. Whoosh, and absolution slides between your ribs and it pierces through you. And now you feel cold. And when you cough, you see your own blood spattering onto these immaculate floorboards, joining the blood leaking from Longdu's chest. And as everything starts to fade, everything starts to go hazy, the amethyst pillars vibrating out of existence, the strange mist coalescing in the ceilings, you hear the immortal emperor's last words to you, a voice mixed with sorrow, but also finality. You could not do it. You did not understand what it meant to be mortal. And that is the timber of my heart. That is why you failed. And I need you to mark 5 strain.
Like all 5?
All 5, yeah.
Okay. That means I'm dead.
Yeah, that does mean you're dead. But when you hit 5 strain, that's a crucible move in this game. You choose whether you succumb or persevere. So which one would you like to do? Would you like to die right here, right now? We could call it quits here. Or would you like to persevere?
There is no other option. I will not die here because I've never lived.
Okay. Back into the river we go. So if you choose to persevere, roll d6. No modifiers. This is completely up to fate.
2 or 1?
2d6.
5.
That's a miss. That's a miss. So on a miss, which is a 6 and below, you fall unconscious. You get to clear 1 strain, so you're at 4. And the GM will describe the desperate scene you find yourself in when you wake. Okay, Litany, you fall. You fall through those wooden floorboards of the hall of peerless destiny. You fall through the entire city of heaven, glimpsing flowery archways, courtyards blooming with a life you've never seen before. You fall through the cradle, the mortal realm, Yaolan, all 5 great earthly kingdoms you see. You hit the ground and you fall through the ground, through the river that bisects the realms and into your home, the underworld. The underworld, also known as the ghost realm, is an infernal paradise. It exists stitched somewhere beneath the cradle, beneath Yaolan, and it is where mortal spirits go after they depart. It is also where demons live. It is the only home you've ever known. It is where you were created and where you have become yourself. Inside the underworld, there's no ceiling, not even really a sky, just a banquet of darkness, perforated by a constant hazy red light. Everything is red here. We glimpse, as you plummet, desiccated courtyards blooming with ghastly flowers. We see vine-choked stone bridges, canals of blood flowing underneath them. We see pleasure dens, lavish restaurants, temples to long forgotten gods. And of course, we see the denizens of the underworld, ghosts, those departed spirits, and demons, the gods of the underworld. And then you splash into the Crimson River. It is a river of blood that bends and winds through the underworld like a hungry red snake. It's shallow. It's always been shallow. The blood is barely enough to break your fall before you slam into this liquid and you hit the bottom of the riverbed.
As the blood comes over them, the very same water that they were birthed from, the scream that comes out of Litany before they lose consciousness is not a scream of agony. It's not a scream of fear. It is a scream of rage so deep that it tears open their throat.
You feel your vocal cords ripping, and then the blood flows in. Your eyes flutter, and everything goes black. Litany, you were not born in the traditional sense. You were spun into being from a shard of the queen's rib, a drop of her blood, and a fragment of that sacred blade that's still lodged in her heart. And when you wake, it is to the sound of her voice. Your eyes flutter open, and you know this place, Litany. You know it well. You've been here many times, countless times. You are in the Hall of Stolen Chance, the throne room of the underworld, the realm of ghosts and demons, and your mother's seat of power. All around you, you see pillars of twisting, porous bone, paper prayers dangling from arches of curved black jade, and we see a miasma of smoke from smoldering incense holders nearby. And at the very back of this hall, the ivory throne. It sits upon a raised dais surrounded by a moat of molten silver. And upon that throne, Queen Ti Gu, the first fallen, beginning of the end, Lord of Death, sovereign on low of the underworld, the Silver Tilian. She wears robes of pure black, pitch black, shot through with silver embroidery, the same color as her silver eyes, and she has a black huadian shaped like a lotus bloom. She looks exactly like her sister, remarkably like her sister now that you've actually feasted your eyes upon the immortal Emperor Longdu. And yet, she looks nothing like her as well.
My queen, my queen. Litany takes in lungful after lungful of breath, and there is nothing that could have prepared them for this moment. Every single moment of their life was built for her, was built so that they could kill the immortal Emperor Longdu, and they were there. And the words start to tumble out of Litany's mouth. I was there. I did it. I had it. I was so close. I was so close.
Enough. And that voice, those words could cut diamond. And you hear it, an emotion enshrouding those words. Disappointment. You have disappointed her before. The disappointment isn't new, but it's the depth of it that is new. This is a disappointment that transcends wrath. You have ruined me. You are my downfall.
No.
You have failed me. You have failed the three tenants. You have failed the underworld. You have failed my vengeance. I could not have prepared you better for this moment. The fault lies not with the wielder, but the blade, and you are a broken blade. A worthless blade. A bastard blade.
Please, I was so close. I should not. You're right. I am broken. Something was wrong. I had it. I had it.
Close is not good enough. You had your chance. You have proven your worth. This is what you are worth. Nothing more. Not a drop of blood more. Look me in the eyes, Litany, vessel of hatred, before I unmake you as I made you. And I will tell you the story you know, the story every demon, every ghost in the underworld knows, so you will know the depth of your failure before you go, before oblivion takes you. And Tigu starts to plunge into a story that every being in the Sister Realms knows. This is the first story you ever heard. And this will be the last story you will ever hear. And as Tigu speaks, she starts to reach for the blade sheathed at her waist, and she says,
I would like to do as I'm told.
Okay, yes, that is a mortal move. I love that. So when you do as you're told, say how you show submission and answer one of the two following questions. And I will show you a glimpse of their true intentions as I answer the other question that you didn't pick. So the questions are, how are you rewarded? And what vulnerability do you reveal?
Litany was on their knees already, covered in blood, bathed in it. But if they could get lower, deeper than the underworld, they would have crawled there. They lay their forearms down on the stone in complete supplication, and they look up at her exactly as she instructs. Because that is all they've ever done. They have only done her instruction. They have done her will over and over and over. And they would have it no other way. There is nothing but submission when it comes to Queen Siku. They know nothing else. And if that means dying, if that means utter failure, so be it.
So you're accepting your death, you're not pleading for your life. She has said, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna tell you a story before I kill you, but I'm going to kill you. And you don't resist.
I have never spoken back. And I don't start today.
Okay. Was that your answer to what vulnerability do you reveal?
Yes.
Okay. I will tell you how you are rewarded with that first story, with that last story, before oblivion comes. And Tigu says, once upon a time, the cradle was whole. Gods Mortals and ghosts walked freely among each other. There were no sister realms to speak of. There was just the realm, the cradle. The river was whole. It flowed freely between all of us. Mortals and ancestors, descendants and ghosts, gods and gods, we walked among each other. And then oblivion began to call to some of those gods. Their time was ending. A new era was to come, but they resisted. They struggled. They feared. They tried to hold on to their power, but they had none left, so they turned to each other. The first god to be slain was Temperance. At the jaws of her brother, he bit down and he drank of her blood and he ate of her flesh and he grew strong. And the other gods saw, and the other gods learned. And one by one, the gods began to eat each other. They turned into cannibals. You see, it gave them power. It let them survive. And eventually they did it for pleasure. The devouring, that's what they called it. That's what I called it. 10,000 years of chaos and misery. And I was poised to rule it. I had a different name then. Long Ti. When I was immortal, a peasant girl from nowhere, you know the story. We all know the story. And yet I was destined for greatness. I was always destined for greatness. I killed and I ate and I became Tigu. And I ruled. I slew every god that stood in my way. I devoured. I was great. Triumph was in my fingertips, and then my sister. My poor, pathetic, sniveling, weak sister, Long Xiefeng, she was always the weaker twin. The soft-hearted one, she had not ascended. She was still mortal. She didn't know what godhood could be. She didn't understand the price, the cost, the sacrifice. The sacrifices needed to reach greatness. She slipped a sacred blade between my chest, blubbering about how it had to be done. She wept. Can you imagine? She wept as she slew me. Me, Tigu, Lord of Death, the first fallen. And fall I did. I fell, I became a ghost of a god of a ghost. She killed me, but I did not die. There is a difference, Litany. Oblivion tried to take me, but the blade, she sank into my chest. I ripped it from her hands and it snapped. And she draws that blade now. It comes out, whooshing, judgment. The top half snapped off, still lodged in Tigu's chest this whole time for millennia since her sister slew her. The top half gone, the stronger half, the better half, the half that was destined for greatness. And Tigu says, and as I struggled against my own oblivion, as I kept myself anchored to this nothingness, this nothing half-life, I watched for 3,000 years in the veil between life and death. I suffered and I watched as Long Xiefeng became... What is it that she calls herself now? Yongdu, the amethyst dragon. I spit upon her name. And yet, she did it. She devoured the devouring. She did something you could not. She succeeded. She broke the world to save it in her eyes. And we call it the shattering. 1,100 years ago, she shattered the cradle into 3 pieces, separated gods up into the city of heaven, mortals on Yaolan, the cradle, and ghosts shattering down into the underworld. The separation to protect mortals, for it was divine conflict that caused misery for everyone else. And because of her weak, frail, soft heart, she took pity on me. What a humiliation. What a fucking disgrace. She made me queen, appointed me ruler of this dead world, this underworld. And the gods who came down here when they achieved apotheosis, we called ourselves demons instead. We are still gods, but we simply live down here. We preside over ghosts. A reward? A mercy? Don't make me laugh. It's a humiliation. That's all it is. She's laughing at me. I know she is. And I tried to kill her. Yes, I did so many times, using my river shard, surfacing through the Ascension Gate, going to the City of Heaven, trying to exact my vengeance, that thing which keeps me tethered to life. But every time I ascended to the City of Heaven, the call of the river, it grew stronger. The call of oblivion, it strengthened, until I could not surface anymore. Which brings us to you. Litany. Vessel of hatred, the weapon I crafted from a shard of my rib, a fragment of the sacred blade, and a drop of my blood. I gave you life. I made you what you are. I gave you purpose. You were to be my weapon, to go where I could not. To slay Longdu so I could claim the throne, claim the greatness that was denied to me, that was stolen from me. And you failed.
I've failed you. And that's the moment where it sinks in. Where every moment that had flitted by so fast that litany could no longer comprehend it, that's when it sinks in. I failed.
That's right. Oh, though I am filled with repulsion for you in this moment, the look in your eyes, don't look down, look at me. Now this almost makes my heart beat again. This despair. For you are a weapon that has not killed, and what good is a weapon that cannot kill? You are worthless. And she draws the blade back. Those will be the last words you hear. You are worthless. And then movement from the shadows beside the throne. Even Tiu pauses, tilts her head to the side, and out steps Sui Xian. Oh, you know them well. The twin blades of sorrow. Your mentor, the person who trained you, has trained you for over 100 years. They are a demon who wears a doli, a steepled bamboo hat, and we see black tattoos curving up their exposed arms, tattoos of the shattered river, and a pair of swords cinched to the sash at their waist. And that doli is steepled over their eyes as always, even as they address not you, but the queen. They kneel. They do not dare look her in the eyes, in the face, but they do kneel and they do speak. And for the first time in their life, they interrupt what Tsigu is about to do. So you understand the gravity of what your mentor is about. To ask for, to say, to interject about. And Sui Xian says, "Oh, Lord of Death, please, I beg of you, not mercy, never mercy, but a second chance. I know that Litany can do better. I trained them to do better. Allow them another chance to serve as your blade. Broken though they are, a jagged edge can still cut." And for the first time since you've known her, Tsigu pauses. She hesitates. Do you say or do anything before she speaks?
Not yet. But there is a layer of bafflement. And things start to spin out of control in Litany's mind again. This is where the incomprehension comes back. They don't understand what's happening right now. They don't know why. They almost crave it. That death, because everything that Sigu said was right. Why aren't they dead yet? They should be. They should be dead. Why aren't they? And they watch the scene unfolding in front of them with empty, blank eyes getting redder and redder by the moment.
And the words that come from Sigu's mouth are addressed not to you, but to Suisian, you know this. And she says, "Now why should I listen to you, twin blades of sorrow? You failed me as well. You failed as a mentor, just as your student. But perhaps there is some logic here that can be salvaged. Perhaps oblivion is too kind a fate for Litany and for you, Suisian. I know what needs to be done. A punishment of misery. Yes, death is too kind. Even torture in the needle pits would be too kind for you, Litany. At least then you would feel something. I know what your due is to be. You are to have an existence bereft of drive. You will be stripped bare of all purpose. That shall be your true punishment. As for you, twin blades of sorrow, you will never know the peace you came to the underworld so desperately, so pitifully to seek. I am consigning you for eternity to the role of gate guardian. Your assignment will reach you, Litany, when it is time. But until then, and impossibly, she draws judgment back away from your neck, away from your chest, and she sheaths it. You are dismissed.
No. Where do I?
Do not make me repeat myself. Go!
Stumbling, covered in blood, lost of purpose, still alive, still half alive, still almost alive. Litany stumbles out of the hall of stolen chance. A godkiller failed.
And with that, Suisian, as well as the queen of the underworld, Sigu, fade into the darkness as you exit the hall of stolen chance and enter an unknown fate.
Bathed in blood. Lost of purpose? Litany goes. They have no other choice. There are 3 tenets that they've always lived by, and all of them ring in their ears with every step they take. Show no mercy, know no pain, kill or be killed. Every tenet they've broken. They have shown mercy. They have known pain. And they could not even be killed. They are broken. A broken godkiller. And they have failed. This isn't how my story is supposed to go.
Litany, 100 years pass. The year is 1199 AG. You have spent every year in the past century eking out a dull existence as a soul shepherd, herding the wandering ghosts and infernal beasts of the underworld away from the shattered river, away from surfacing into realms where they don't belong. For these entities are broken, just like the river is, and they are able to traverse the realms with an ease that even mortals, gods, and demons don't know. Everyone else has to use a river seal at an ascension gate. But spirits, the beasts you herd, they can simply walk. In some ways, they're free, unlike you. We find you now in the obsidian fields that sprawl beyond the sepulchral heart of the necromantic palace. Litany, please tell me, what do you look like?
Litany's eyes have always been red. Red like the drop of blood that made them. They've always had skin and hair the color of bleached bone. Dead. Long dead. And they've always had bruised knuckles. Because they were taught to be a weapon, not wield one. They fight with their hands. They fought with their hands. And those eyes used to have purpose. Used to have drive, used to have fire, used to have everything that a god killer needed to succeed. And now they have nothing. Now, instead of watching gods fall by their hand, as many have, they watch infernal beasts roam obsidian grasslands. Instead of tying their knuckles tight with layers and layers of fabric, with knives, with blades, with puncturing weapons to throw their weight behind. Now they wrap their hands in rope, halters, feed bags, meat. And now, instead of their feet taking them toward their destiny, they rest on the top of an obsidian fence post, staring out at a purpose that doesn't exist. A god killer with no god to kill.
The sky is black, crimson light shines down. There are no seasons in the underworld, there is no day, there is no night, there is only black and red. And as you sit on this obsidian fence post, it is this black and red light that shines down on you as you watch the beasts graze, as you keep an eye on them, make sure they don't wander too far. And you see a buoyi, a goat-like creature with 9 foxtails, no eyes in the front, and various eyes on its back. Start to hobble off. And you know what you have to do, the vocal exercise you need to invoke to bring them back. And its ear flicks in your direction, it cocks its head up, and it kind of wanders back to the flock. And we see other such hellish monsters. We see 钟鸣鸟, large raptors with 2 irises in each eye. We see 大老鬼, miniature bulls made of bone with frills of poisoned darts. And one that seems to take a particular interest in you, a Dao Shou, a tiger-like creature. But when we turn, we see not a snout, not a muzzle, not sharp fangs, but a person's face. A mortal's face. It's an illusion, of course. This isn't actually a mortal with a tiger's body. It is a tiger with a man's face. And yet, as the Dao Shou comes up to you, tilts his head to the side, and then to the other side, unblinking.
Litany sees themselves. This job, Litany, is like a broken-toothed lion being sent to do a sheepdog's job. Everything about them is coiled and vicious. Everything about them is an illusion of life. Everything about them is almost mortal. Go lie down.
And then the true bestial nature is betrayed as they chuff in your direction and turn.
One day, you'll see that we're exactly the same. Guess not today, though.
Movement catches your eye. A shadow, slinking between the trees at the bottom of this hill you find yourself on top of. A humanoid shadow. That's unusual. You're the only one out here.
Litany counts all of their flock, finds the number correct, turns back toward the shadow.
And the shadow steps out of the shade of this obsidian tree that it's underneath, and you see a woman. A tall woman. A muscular woman, very well-defined physique, light brown skin, and she's moving with the gait of a confident wolf. She's got a cocksure face, a bright, alive expression, dark hair pulled up into a messy bun, and a mostly bare torso, barely concealed by a single sash tucked into their trousers. And you see well-defined top surgery scars underneath their pectorals, as well as a staff strapped behind their back. They are moving swiftly, purposefully, and like they don't want to be seen. They haven't noticed you yet. And there's something else. They're not a ghost. You recognize it instantly. At first, a strange kind of vibration through the air. What is that? And then you realize it's the beating of a heart thrumming in your ears. It's not coming from you. It's never come from you. It's coming from her. There's blood in her veins, blood that still runs. There's breath in her lungs, breath that still pumps in and out. She's alive, a living mortal in the underworld. Impossible.
Impossible. The problem with sending a lion to do a sheepdog's job is that a lion cannot deny their hunt. There is no question in Litany's body when they push off the fence and wander away from the Daosho and the rest of their flock. There is no question as they begin to trail this living person, keeping that sound do-do, 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 do-do in their ears. It almost vibrates inside of them, fills them with some kind of life. Is this a purpose? This is something. They can't deny themselves the simple pleasure of hunting her down.
As you get closer to her, you notice details that you didn't see before. An urgency in her face, in her movements, but also an uncertainty, not timidity. You don't even know who this person is, but you have a feeling that timid is not a word in her lexicon at all. But there is an uncertainty. She is a fish out of water here. In fact, you see her rub her arms together a little as though she's cold down here in the underworld, and she pauses for a second to assess the situation and take in her surroundings.
Litany moves in. Now's the time. Almost like they were calling to their flock. Litany steps out into her eye view and turns to look at them. You shouldn't be here.
Oh, and the voice that comes out of her mouth is masculine, it is confident, and it's just a touch like it's not taking things too seriously, even though this is a serious situation. I definitely belong here. I'm a ghost. So if you just let me be on my merry way. You know, you go off to whatever it is that you're doing. Are those animals?
That
God,
way-
they look kind of messed up, don't they?
Is the broken river. You're not going that way. Ghosts can't ford the broken river one way or another, and you are very much alive.
What? What? No, I'm not. No, I'm dead. I'm like uber dead.
I can hear your heartbeat.
Okay, I lied. I'm a demon. I'm a demon. Demons have hearts. Yeah, look at me. I'm a...
You have no divinity of you.
That's kind of rude. I mean, I think you look divine. I mean, actually, and she leans forward and you feel something strange. Magic thrumming in her eyes. Though those dark irises don't change color or glow or anything like that, her eyes travel down to your chest and it's almost as though you feel a strange radiance humming between your ribs. She's not looking at you. She's looking through you, underneath you, at something beneath the surface. It feels almost invasive.
Cultivator. You're a cultivator. What are you doing here?
I'm lost. I wandered here by accident, you know, just kind of walked down a riverbank. I didn't know it was the shattered riverbank. Fell in, swept me down here, and here I am. I'm just trying to find my way home. So,
Not
you've got
possible.
a... What?
Not possible.
What? Anything's possible when you've got a will and a way, and I've got a way here, Obsidian Fields, and a will. Me, I'm alive. Well, if you could keep it on the down low, I would appreciate it. What the hell's wrong with your soul?
What?
I've got this like soulfire gaze thing. It's like a cultivation technique I picked up from this old guy in the mountains. Well, he was a monkey. Is a monkey. He's still alive, I think. I mean, this was like 150 years ago, and they really don't live that long. But anyway, I can see your soul, and it's pretty fucked up.
Litany does something that they've been waiting 100 years to do. They punch someone in the face.
Would you like to unleash violence?
Yes, I would like to unleash violence.
Okay, inflict violence, actually. So when you inflict violence on someone, roll 2d6, and you add one for each true statement. They wish you harm. They do not. You're desperate?
I'm not desperate.
It's personal.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, she's talking smack about your soul. All right, roll
It is
them
personal.
bones. +1. That's a 10.
Again.
That's an overkill. So you lose yourself to righteous fury. I will tell you the costs of your divinity. If you have a cool idea too, feel free to pitch it to me as well. Otherwise, I'll take it.
Litany hits like a truck. Litany hits like somebody who has been waiting for the opportunity to throw a punch for 100 years. Litany is someone who throws a punch like a loaded gun that has not been shot in eons, who has a purpose that has not been fulfilled. Litany hits hard. And they want to pop her soul out of her body just to see how she feels.
You punch her in the chest?
I punch her square in the chest. And it cocks back and boom!
She slides across the ground and hits a tree, which is unusual. Most people you punch, usually their bodies don't hold up. You punch a hole through them, or they literally go arcing through the air and you don't see them anymore. She slides, she takes it, lets out a kind of impact noise. She hits a tree, and glass shards rain down and kind of cut her a little bit. She goes, oh, what the hell? I hate this place. Okay, wow, you can really punch.
You shouldn't be here.
You've got a mean right hook, I gotta tell you that.
Nobody living should be here, so I'll fix the problem.
Huh?
I'll make you dead.
What?
And Litany charges at her.
Okay, you did get a 10 plus, so I think there's a moment where you come at her with the intent to kill.
Yes.
You're trying to kill her on sight? Okay, yeah, so you come wailing in, fists flying, right? Every punch aimed at vital organs, aimed to rupture, to make her bleed, to make her die. And she takes a few more to the gut, to the shoulder, to the thigh, even when your leg comes in, and then she doesn't start fighting back, but she starts parrying. Her arm goes up and catches a blow. Her leg comes up, she pivots, she dodges, she swings, she's not fighting back, and her form is really good. like really, really good. She's able to keep up with you and guard her vital places. And she was even able to tank like 3 strong hits straight to the body. She's not down yet. You don't even really see her bleeding, but she's breathing really heavily. And you have a feeling that some of those punches are gonna bruise, which makes you feel really good. She doesn't even quite reach for the staff yet. And she's saying, whoa, let's just talk this out, okay? It doesn't have to come to blows. I don't wanna fight, I don't wanna hurt you, okay? I don't wanna do something I might regret.
There is an endless sea of rage underneath Litany. They punch so hard and they never get tired. Every hit that she takes, that she parries, is just as hard as the one that came before it, if not harder. They are like letting go of any inhibition and just hitting her because she can take it. Because she is strong. And there's a recognition of that strength, and they pull back just for a moment.
Ow, okay, yeah, that's really gonna smart in the morning. Listen, I'm just trying to get out of here, okay? Not through the painful way, but through hopefully the peaceful way. I just need to find my way out. If you could just point me in the direction of an ascension gate, I'll be on my merry way. Just the part ways here, and you can maybe smack my ass on the way out if you wanted to. Don't actually do that. I feel like you would crack my tailbone open. And you see her tail swish out from behind her. She has a long monkey-like tail, ending in a tufted tip, like a lion's.
Who are you?
Well, my name is Tiansheng. I am a cultivator. I am a martial mage, as you have very cleverly ascertained. And you're right, I don't belong down here. I'm just found my way here by... She pauses. Accident. And I would appreciate your directions to get out of here. I've been here for 3 weeks. Please, everything is so cold.
You're not getting out of here.
But you do know where the Ascension Gate is, don't you? And you go back to fighting her, and as she dodges and parries, she's forced to unsheath her staff to, like, block the brunt of the blows now.
This feels good. This feels good. Litany hasn't felt good in 100 years. This feels right. This is their purpose. They are a weapon with no enemy. And this feels right in a way that their soul sings with. The violence in them is so strong. Those tenets start rising into the back of their mind. Show no mercy, know no pain, kill or be killed. Even when their fist connects with that staff and their knuckles crack against it, it feels good.
I think there's a moment where she like braces her staff up and your fist is just connected. Oh my god! As she like gets pushed back a few feet. Oh, wow, okay, you hit like a hurricane. I'll give you that. You're a very strong fighter. And are you just getting stronger, or is that just me? And she flips her staff with agility that doesn't even quite befit her muscular form. How can someone so big and muscular be so quick and agile on her feet? She spins around and now she attacks. Not to kill you, you recognize the intention immediately. You're a trained killer. This isn't the move of a killer. This is the maneuver of someone trying to knock you out so she can get out of here. She uses the staff as a fulcrum and swings her legs forward to hit your head.
Oh, back bend all the way down.
It goes over, and then she swings back around and uses the staff as a follow-up as she hits the ground with her feet, tries to knock you in the solar plexus.
Litany doesn't dodge. Litany bears the brunt. And they don't feel the pain. They block and they hold.
Listen, I've got some pretty urgent business to attend to up there. You know, I've been hearing some pretty scary things down here. You know, disguised as a rock in the necromantic palace. Some stuff about the queen, you know, going up to the city of heaven. So I gotta get out of here before she does that.
What? And she is able to hit them because for just a moment, Litany falters.
The staff comes down on your head so hard, it feels like you've been cracked open by a thunderbolt. Bam! Oh shit, I thought you were gonna block that. You blocked every other one. Are you okay?
What did you just say?
I said I thought you would block that.
No, before that.
You hit like a hurricane?
After that.
I was a rock?
Do not make me ask a third time, what did you say about the queen?
Oh,
What plan?
It's just, everyone in the royal court's been talking about it. Something about how Queen Tsigu plans to attack the emperor one last time. She's gathering all her strength in preparation for the Ghost Festival, which is apparently when her powers are the strongest. Makes sense. She's like the Ghost Ruler, Ghost Festival. It's very thematic. Which is in like 12 days, which is not a lot of time. The demons are calling it her last stand. Her last hope. So I gotta get out of here before she does that, because things on Yaolan are gonna be fucking wild if she goes up and attacks the emperor. And I was there the last time gods had a conflict, about like 200 years ago at this point. It was not pretty. The mortals suffer, and the mortals need a good ruler, and I need to help a good ruler. I'm rambling.
Shh. Stop.
Okay, you not attacking me is somehow scarier than you attacking me and trying to kill me, so, what's going on?
How certain are you?
I was a rock for 3 days, okay? Like, my ass was pretty cramped by the end, so I'm really certain about what I heard.
Queen Tsigu will go to the City of Heaven herself.
Yes, that's what they're saying. Personally, to attack her sister one last time.
She'll die.
I guess, yeah.
She'll die.
Are you okay?
How did you get down here?
That's a long story. I was smacked. I was smacked really hard. Yep. And then her eyes go wide to look at something that had fallen out of her outfit while you were fighting. And she didn't notice it until this moment, like it catches both of your eyes in the glint of the crimson light coming down, and you see it. A river seal. Just like the one your mother has, but much smaller, a small shard instead of a large one. And this woman, this Tiansheng, this cultivator, her eyes go wide, and she grabs for it. Okay, so if you're both trying to grab for it, I need you to either tempt fate or act impulsively to snatch it.
Act impulsively.
Okay, describe the emotion that drives you and answer one. The GM will tell you something you didn't notice until now as they answer the other. And the questions are, what advantage do you see, or what trouble hits you hard and fast?
The emotion that drives Litany as they lunge, both hands out, not caring about how they'll land, reaching desperately for that river seal, is that exact thing. Desperation. Everything is coming together in their minds so fast. Their mother who they could never name as a mother, the person who created them, her last hope, her last stand, she can't do that. Litany was made so that she wouldn't have to do that. Litany was supposed to be the last hope. She will die. Oblivion will take her if she goes up there. That cannot come to pass. And it's their fault. They have a river seal. They have a way out of the underworld. Maybe, just maybe. Maybe they could do it. Maybe they could get their redemption. Maybe they could have it. Maybe they could have that second chance. Maybe they could prove to her their devotion. They see it. They have always seen. They have always walked that clear line from beginning to end. There are no other options. So it's desperation. And not only that, it's purpose. And the advantage I would like to see is I would like to get there first.
You do. Your fingers go out and scoop at the edges of that shattered river seal, and I will answer what trouble hits you hard and fast. Your fingers go right through. You can try again if you'd like.
Desperately. Clawing at it. No.
They go through.
What magic is this cultivator?
No magic. It's a, and she reaches forward and picks it up. It's a mortal river seal, so only mortals can hold it, which means you're a demon? That's not quite right. That's not the soul of a demon. You're not quite a mortal, though, either. Are you a cultivator? But
No.
cultivators are mortal.
I am not a cultivator. I am not a demon, and I am not a god. I am Litany, daughter of Queen Tsigu, the first fallen, beginning of the end, lord of death, sovereign on low of the underworld, the Silver Tilian.
Oh, shit. I didn't know she had a daughter. Wow. Okay. Wait, why are you hurting, like, evil sheep? You know, if you're like her daughter...
Give that to me.
I can't! Look! And it falls right through your hand and she catches it with her other. You literally can't hold it, only a mortal can. Me. Or any other mortal. But I'm the only one that would fit the bill down here. You know, I'm the only living, breathing mortal down here. Look, I'm sorry about your mom going up on that suicide mission. I'm sorry you're out here hurting these evil...
Do you want to get out of here?
Yes, I do, desperately.
You want to leave the underworld?
Please, yes. Not the painful way, though. Is that a way of you saying you're about to kill me?
No.
Okay, I'm listening.
You need to reach the mortal realm.
I do, urgently.
That river seal can't take me all the way to the city of heaven.
No, it's a mortal seal, so it can only jump realms by a degree of 1, something like that.
I take you to the Ascension Gate. I let you leave the underworld with your life. And in return, you will take me to the very first Ascension Gate on the mortal realm, and you will ascend me to the city of heaven.
What's in the city of heaven for you?
My destiny.
Okay. Daughter of Tsigu?
Litany.
Litany? Litany. That's a weird name for a person. It's like the name of a weapon or something. Litany. You've got yourself a deal. She tucks the river seal into her sash, pats it down.
And if you try to betray me, as many mortals have betrayed one another, I will drag you back to the underworld, kicking and screaming, and I will make sure you never leave.
And Tiansheng's tail puffs out behind her and she stands stock still. Understood. Got yourself a deal.
What are you doing?
We're shaking hands on the deal. Oh, sorry. No, is this your first time, like, interacting with a person?
You are the only living mortal who has ever descended into the underworld.
Uh-huh. Right, I'm starting to catch on to that. Just spit into your hand and shake mine. All right. Whew. It's really cold. Or spit, I mean. Anyway, take me to the Ascension Gate.
Keep up. Let's go.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Godkiller Last Hope. If you've been enjoying this series, please consider joining Transplaner's Patreon at patreon.com/transplanernrpg. It's the best way to support us for as little as $3 a month, so we can continue bringing great performances like this one. If you can't spare the funds, please consider leaving a positive review or comment, posting about us on social media, or sharing the show with a friend that you think will enjoy us. Thanks to the support of our audience, we are continually able to do this awesome work. And you can purchase the ash can of Godkiller RPG on itch.io/by Connie Chong. The games for release will be published through Evil Hat Productions in 2025. And as always, our sponsors for this series are Frivolous Bear Studios and Hero Forge. Thank you for helping us create these powerful stories. And with that, our game comes to a close for now. We'll see you next time, right here on Transplanar RPG. Welcome to GODKILLER Last Hope. My name is Zoe Williams, and as the dramaturg for this production, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the viciously divine world of the Cradle. Last Hope is a dark fantasy series that deals with heavy topics, and content warnings will be shared before the show begins. Last Hope is performed live and in studio by Connie Chong and C. Thomas. Previously on GODKILLER Last Hope, we are introduced to Litany, the God-Killer, daughter of Queen Tigu, Lord of Death and Sovereign of the Underworld. After failing their one and only mission to kill Tigu's sister Longdu, the Emperor of Heaven, Litany is condemned to life as a purposeless soul shepherd. But they find their second chance at redemption in the form of a mortal cultivator, Tiansheng. Tiansheng is trying to escape the underworld, and she possesses a river seal, a magical key that allows one to travel between the realms. Litany and Tiansheng strike a deal. Litany will help Ta escape the underworld if Ta takes them to an ascension gate upon reaching Yaolan, the mortal world. This way, Litany can enter the city of heaven and make it good on their life's mission to kill Emperor Longdu. A full recap can be found at transplannerrpg.com. And now, the game begins.
GODKILLER Last Hope is a dark fantasy actual play series that deals with serious and potentially triggering topics. Viewer discretion is advised. Content warnings for this episode include fantasy violence, death, killing, blood, trauma, grief, interpersonal conflict, demons, ghosts, body horror, removal of limbs, divinity, and brief mentions of poverty, mercenary killing, divine cannibalism, and spit.
Litany. The path to the Underworld Ascension Gate is one you know very well. Or at least, you used to be able to have the permission to know well. You haven't tread this in a century, but now your feet walk it as though it was just yesterday that you were sent up to your failed mission on the city of heaven. But to get to the Ascension Gate, which is located in the middle of the Crimson River, which winds through the entire underworld, you have to pass through the heart of Ghost City. We cut in on the hustle and bustle of demons and ghosts of every shape and kind milling through busy thoroughfares. We see market stalls alight with all kinds of infernal delights, the smells of pungent incense mixed with flesh burning, filling your nostrils, the closest thing to life that you might be able to perceive. We see gambling houses, we see luxurious restaurants, we see ancient temples with denizens milling in and out of these establishments constantly. There's no day and night cycle here, which means Ghost City is constantly alive. Well, as alive as their denizens will let them be. You have to push through this busy urban square to get to the Crimson River. How are you trying to navigate yourself and Tiansheng through all these people?
There's no hesitation. This is full New Yorker elbows all the way out. There is absolutely no lack of trying. They see that clear line from beginning to end, and they know how to walk it, and they walk it fast. There is a kind of drive and purpose that they have not been able to act on in 100 years. And that drive is pulling them as though they had their own heartbeat, ba-bum, ba-bum, ba-bum. Every step bringing them closer and closer and closer to where they want to be, where they need to be. They must do this. They must save her, their mother, not a mother, their creator who gave them purpose. They must do this for her. They've needed to do this for them, too. And this is just the first opportunity. They would have waited 100 years, 500 years, 1,000 years, 2,500 years. They would have waited as long as it took to get this opportunity, and no matter when it came, there would be no hesitation. They're ready. They failed last time. They will not fail again. They have a plan. They have a purpose. It's still alive inside of them. It is the only thing alive inside of them. And they will not be stopped by a couple of demons gambling in the street.
Speaking of the demons gambling in the street, the doors to a gambling parlor open as you start to turn a corner, and you can see the Crimson River in the distance, rising up to meet you on this hill that you start descending upon. You can see the bright vermilion tides traveling down the stream. You can smell this thick, pungent iron smell, and then the doors to that gambling parlor open, and out come 3 demons. You recognize these demons instantly. Unlike the other demons in the underworld who avert their gazes with a sense of shame from you, with moroseness, with a lack of dignity, with a humiliation carved into the negative space left by your demotion. Unlike the other denizens of the underworld, these 3 demons look at you straight on because they are the troublemakers of Ghost City. We see one of them is a big, burly demon. He's got this light green skin, thick black hair, big, thick black beard, a chain of skulls draped around his neck like a necklace, and a monk's badge strapped across his back. The second demon that we see is a vulpine demon with 9 foxtails and this sandy red hair, kind of monk-like grace, and very attentive, curious, interested, slitted pupil eyes that land immediately on you. And their ears kind of flick up at that. And the third demon, which everyone knows is their ringleader, of course, save the best and the biggest and the baddest for last, is a woman with skin almost as pale as yours, pale as bone, with this dark black hair that flows behind her as though it's drifting in a wind or a current of an unseen river. And she has this segmented sword that every segment that comes out looks like a spine bone that comes out and is linked by a black chain. It's kind of resting across her shoulders that turns into a veil as she drapes it across her neck. She also looks at you. These are, of course, in order of appearance, Xiaolong, Tang Tang, and Bai Guting. And they are huge fans of Queen Sigu, and they are huge rumor mongers. So as you start to turn the corner and try to get into that alleyway, right, get into where the Crimson River is, they step into your path. And Tang Tang goes, "Oh, Litany, vessel of hatred, you look," and then a pause as they take you in. "Purposeful." And the ear flicks, because everyone knows you were robbed of your purpose as punishment from the Queen herself.
Litany has no time for these 3 demons. They've never had time for these 3 particular demons. They have always outrun, outfought, outsmarted these demons time after time. They don't have time for Bai Guting, they don't have time for Tang Tang, and they don't have time for Xiaolong. Their gaze rests on Tang Tang, then the rest of them, and the only thing out of their mouth is, "You are in my way. Move." And that gets Tang Tang to move. Finally, this vulpine demon nods, the ears kind of flatten deferentially, and they step back next to Xiaolong, leaving just Bai Guting in your way. And for a second, it looks like this white bone demon will also move. But then something inside her holds fast. Maybe it's some kind of strange, hollow curiosity, or maybe it's that deep loyalty that she has to Queen Sigu that empowers the next words that escaped out of mouth. "Of course, it's just the Queen's orders, you know, that you be stripped of your purpose, so if you don't mind me asking one last time, for the sanctity of the underworld, you understand." I may be stripped of my purpose, but at least I had one. At least I was not felled by cultivators. At least I tried. At least I got close. You failed before you even began. She made me to make up for you. I said move. and I would like to challenge someone.
Yeah, I was
dangerous.
literally gonna say, okay, so when you challenge someone dangerous in front of an audience, her underlings and presumably some of the demons who have slowed down to watch and listen in, say what foolish or risky action you hope they'll take, and roll 2d6.
I almost want her to stay so that I can punch her in the head.
Okay, so add one for each true statement. They care about your opinion. Yeah. They think they're stronger than you. No, absolutely not. The crowd is on your side. I don't think so. No, that's that's a +1.
All right. Oh my god, a 12.
Oh, okay. So that's an overkill, which is a 10+. On an overkill, you push too far. Your target reacts instantly and dangerously. She does something so foolish. She should never do this. You are demoted, but you are still a creation of the infernal queen of the Lord of Death. She draws her blade against you. Each serration of that blade, each nugget of that spine cracks open, and Baiguizing lets the chain whip sword fall to the ground where it rattles like oracle bones being cast across a game board. And she says, well, I think I speak for the queen herself when I say it's time to put a demoted little princeling in their place.
You will never speak for the queen.
Well, perhaps you once did. Wait, no, you've always just been a vessel for her will. Yes, we might have had some embarrassments occur to us at the hands of cultivators, but at least we're still free to draw blood.
You can't. You have never been able to draw my blood.
Always walking around like you're better than us. Don't forget, we were here first. She made you to fulfill a purpose. We love her. We worship her. And one day she will return that love to us if we worship her hard enough. But she's already given up on you. And because you got an overkill, Baiguizing spits at your feet.
I hit Tiansheng hard.
Uh-huh.
I hit her harder.
This demon?
I hit her
Okay.
harder.
Okay.
Litany was made to kill gods. Litany was made to kill a god in particular. But if the shoe fits. And it comes fast, and it comes lethal, and there is nothing held back.
Are you trying to inflict violence on her or straight up kill her?
I'm trying to inflict violence.
Okay, sounds good. So roll 2d6, add one for each true statement. They wish you harm? Yes, in this moment she's been pushed to wishing you harm. You're desperate?
I'm not desperate.
Is it personal?
It is personal.
Okay, that's +2. Go for it. Roll them bones.
Oh.
That's a 5. That's a miss. On a miss, the opposition seizes on a flaw in your approach. Suffer 2 strain, and the GM will describe the corner you're backed into. Okay, I think the corner you're backed into is social, as opposed to because I don't think there's any world where she can actually beat you in a physical confrontation, an actual fight. So what is the flaw in your approach as you punch her really hard?
When they throw this punch, for all the back and forth and the disrespect and the spit, they are not punching her to punch her. They are punching her because they know she's right.
Ooh.
And that makes them mad.
Uh-huh.
And it makes them vulnerable.
Something about her words from this nobody demon, from this random troublemaker, from this demon that's never been as close to Tsigu as you have been. You are Tsigu's blood. You are her sacred broken blade. You are her rib. This demon is nothing, and yet those words cut deep, and those words cut true. Baiguizing, flies through the gambling parlor that she came out of, and we don't see her again. She just right into it. There's an explosion of bone pillar, right? Marrow shards come expelling themselves outward. Pillars shatter, the roof caves in and buries her, and we hear shouting from the patrons that were inside of this establishment before you broke it open. And Tong Tong and Shalang raise their hands up and they back away. And the crowd, because yes, there's a crowd now, there's like an intake of breath, and then once more, an aversion of their gaze. And Tiansheng goes, damn. And then horrifyingly, Tiansheng says to you in a soft voice only you can hear, are you okay? Fine, move. And they start pushing forward past Tong Tong, past Shaolong without another look at them. That line is still there, and they will come back. They will come back and they will show all of them. They don't have to prove themselves, but they will. But they will prove themselves, and they're on their way. They cannot get distracted. They cannot get distracted. They've made a path, and now they will walk it. I love that. So you are gonna have to suffer 2 strain. Let's say, because you hit 5 strain technically, that was 100 years ago though, so you've cleared your strain by now, so you're only at 2 strain as of this move. Obviously the corner you're backed into, I think, is emotional and social. You've been cracked open a little, you've revealed some vulnerability of your status and of your mental state in front of this random fucking mortal stranger cultivator, and in front of all of the demons and ghosts you grew up around and who know you. You pass through the alleyway, you step onto the bank of the Crimson River, and here the blood smell, the iron smell is so strong as you leave the demons of the city behind. From here, the necromantic palace is visible on top of an osseous hill. It's a beautiful silver and marrow manor, the place where you grew up, the place where you trained, the place where you learned how to be, what to do. And then your eyes fall down onto the Ascension Gate, standing open in the middle of the rushing tides of the Crimson River. The Underworld Ascension Gate is a hellish paifang, which is a open gateway of sorts with a tiered roof on top. Its pillars are made of pure obsidian, and the tiers are made of silver-plated bone. But it's not just you and Tiansheng here on the banks approaching the Crimson River. There's someone standing at the gateway. And of course you know who they are. They were consigned to be there, just as you were consigned to become a soul shepherd for the rest of eternity. It's your former mentor, Sui Xian.
Litany knew that this would happen. They knew where Sui Xian was going to be. When this plan rose to the back of their mind, clawing and grabbing at their consciousness, they knew that this would be an obstacle. But seeing it in front of them is different. That shame is sitting heavy in their knuckles, in their bones, in their knees, in their eyes, flaring with anger and hatred, vessel of hatred. That is who they are. And there's a moment where Litany inhales sharply as they see their former mentor, the person who taught them to kill gods, the person who taught them what it meant to rip divinity apart, to shred hunger, to grab a downfall and eat it. They know they need to step forward. They know that the only way to get from point to point is to move through this gate. But for just a moment, their feet don't move. And then they do. And one foot splashes into the bloody river, and then another, and they don't even look at Tiangshen behind them. They don't even remember that the cultivator is there. They just know where they need to go, and they know who's in their way.
A heartbeat later, you hear splash splash as Tiansheng steps into the Crimson River behind you. You hear her go, wait, hold on, oh my god, what is this thing? Is it
You know what? Never mind. I don't want to know. It's blood. Uh-huh. I know. I said I didn't want to. Thank you. It's just, there's a demon at that gate. How are we going to get past them?
We will get past them. That's not the problem. There is no problem. We get past.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to let you handle this, but maybe don't punch them so hard like that last person. It just might cause a ruckus, and you know what? This is your home, your stomping grounds. I'll let you take the lead.
Good. Stand back.
Okay?
And then he shakes himself almost, like something about this interaction is so desperately unfamiliar and they crave to know it in a way that they don't understand. This mortality, this way of being that is so easy. There's nothing easy in what they're about to do.
And then the shame bubbles up, and Sui Xian's hooded eyes lift, and you see them glowing under the dark brim of that steepled bamboo hat, and they lock gazes with you from across the river. And they don't raise their voice, but you hear it as clear as though it were right next to your ear. Litany, you're not supposed to be here. You're supposed to be in the fields.
It doesn't matter. And Litany starts moving forward. Through the blood, they keep their eyes on Sui Xian. And everything about them matches the river of blood in front of them. Their cadence, their rhythm, the color of their eyes.
The river runs through the gate toward you, so you're wading your way upstream against it. And Sui Xian doesn't move, doesn't flinch, doesn't look away, doesn't move to their weapons, but keeps their gaze on you fixed permanently and says, "Why are you here, Litany?"
I must do this. I will only ask once. Move out of my way.
You've heard about the Queen.
You didn't tell me!
I am not to move from my post, and even if I could, I would not have told you.
So you betray me again and again.
No, not a betrayal, Litany. An open hand. You have been given a second chance.
This is no second chance. This is my second chance. She is my second chance. And they point back at Tiangshan. And I had to grab it from the jaws of fate.
The jaws of fate. Well, where you will walk will be right into the waiting maw of doom. And they hold out their hand as though to stop you from moving past them into the gate. I cannot let you pass, Litany.
You will let me pass.
I'm not saying this as Queen Sigu's hound dog. I am saying this as your former mentor.
And former mentor is what you are. You were once and you are no longer.
When Sigu spared you, she meant it as a punishment. She meant it as the deepest and gravest humiliation that you, her godkiller, could face.
And it is. And it is.
It doesn't have to be. It can be a chance at a different life. A better life for you. There are joys everywhere we look, even here. There is community. There is another option.
What are you saying?
There is another way, Litany.
There is no other way. This is my way. This is my destiny. This is my purpose. What I was made for. What I was made to do.
I'm glad you failed. A part of me never wanted you to succeed. I never wanted this for you. I only ever wanted you to be you. Not what she wanted you to be. Something you could choose for yourself.
Fuck you!
And the rage, the shock that rises in Litany is so strong. They feel the thunder of blood in their ears as though it has started their blood pumping. But they realize it's just the blood rushing past their knees. You betrayed me. You didn't train me well enough. That is why I failed. You subjected me to this life that I hate. This shame.
The shame comes from within. Redemption does not come from without.
I will claim it. I will take it. I will kill her.
I will not let you pass. For your own good, Litany. Not for hers, not for anyone else's, but yours. I could not save myself from doom, and whooshing one blade out. But I will save you. Whooshing the other one.
Still, somehow, the second question comes. Litany's fist is so tight at their side, it trembles. Bone white knuckles. I said, move.
And I say, I can't.
Then you leave me no choice. And when Litany pulls their fists back, they do something that they did not need to do with Tiansheng. They did not need to do with Bai Guxing. These wraps around their wrists, these heavy, almost gauntlets that are stuck to them with rope and old pieces of iron and obsidian, flare to life as long knives protrude out from the top of their fists.
Okay!
Because that's what you need to do when you want to kill a god. You have to fight with everything you are and everything you have.
Okay, so tell me, they will not act first. They will let you come to them. So how do you rush forward?
Litany has always been impatient. They have been impatient for their destiny. They have been impatient for the gods that they will kill. They have been impatient for death. And they are not patient here either. They've already waited. They've already offered twice. 2 mercies offered to their former mentor. And this rises in them so quickly, so fast, and blooms out of them in a spread of violence. Litany moves fast. They are trained to do this. It is a dance. It is beautiful. It is vicious. It is precise. It is everything. Every part of them is turned into the function of violence. Their knees, their eyes, their ears, their senses, their hands. Everything about them is a weapon. There is nothing left behind. There is nothing more to give. And so they punch against their former mentor with all the force of a well-trained godkiller.
Okay, it sounds like you are inflicting violence to me.
I am once again inflicting violence.
You love this move. Okay, so add 1 for each true statement. They wish you harm? No.
Ow. Why is that worse?
They don't wish you harm.
That's worse. You know that's worse, right?
You're welcome.
Okay.
You're desperate?
In this situation, for the first time, Litany is desperate.
Yes, because you know what your former mentor, is capable of. It's personal. Yep.
Yeah,
that's personal. Just a statement of fact. We're not even assessing whether or not that's not a question.
That's
okay.
Personal.
+2. Go for it.
Okay. Ooh, I moved myself. And that's boxcars.
Okay, that's
12
boxcars?
plus 2, 14.
Oh my god. Okay, that's overkill. You lose yourself to righteous fury. The GM will tell you the costs of your divinity. So, Litany. If you are an unstoppable force, Sui Xian is not an immovable object. They are water. You come barreling toward them, and something snaps to life inside this demon. You barely perceive them moving. Just a flash of two blades, and they're behind you. And you pivot, you turn, you thrust your gauntlets forward, and they're in front of you again. They step around you, and when you slice your blades down, they intercept it with their own, with the twin blades, with their namesake, twin blades of sorrow. They are an expert swordsman. When they were alive, well, you don't know anything about Suisian when they were alive, but you catch a glimpse of it now. A glimpse they never showed you even when they were training you for over 100 years. A glimpse of who they used to be. Desperate, hungry, urgent, trying to get through to you. There is that callous, cold, perfect, ruthless form that they drilled into you, that they taught you. But there's something else underneath it too. They're not fighting to kill you. They're fighting with mercy. They are fighting with hope. And that, despite their movement like water, despite them weaving around and between you and underneath you and above you like fluid wind, that opens up a weakness in their armor. Because it's a vulnerability. It's a give where there should be iron. Righteous fury, costs of your divinity. Which limb do you take from them first?
Oh my god. Left at the elbow.
Left at the elbow. Okay.
They take it in one hand. They brace against the shoulder. And they
You yank it? You don't even slice it?
No.
That is even more brutal than I was anticipating. Yeah. A brace, a grab, a yank, and it goes flying. It hits the Crimson River, washes away. The blade that hand was holding flies into the air, and you see blood, not crimson like Longdu's strangely was, but blue. You see, every demon you've ever felled, every god you've ever killed to prepare yourself for the true god you were meant to fight has bled a different color. They've always bled the color of their soul. And Suisian's soul is blue. Cerulean. A deep, painful ocean blue, the color of tears, the color of sorrow. And as that blood spurts and the blade flashes into the air, they turn their head and they let the blade stick into the riverbed. If they are in pain, they don't show it. They yank their arm away from you and they flourish their other knife and they create space between the two of you. They slash, and then back away. Good. Just like I taught you. Even better than I taught you.
Yes, even better than what you taught me.
I am proud of you, Litany. You have risen to be so much stronger than I ever could have been, than I ever was. Your maker forbade me from telling you about who I was. But let me tell you the story now. And they turn and they slash at you with a blade and you catch it. And as that metal against metal rings out across the battlefield, they say, I once served a king. When it comes down and they're like face to face with you now. A ruthless king, a mortal king. Yet I was even more ruthless. And you break away. And the blood keeps pouring from their left arm. They're going to lose like most of their blood at this point if they don't do anything about it, but they don't. They just look at you calmly and they continue to talk. And as they do, you continue to clash over and over as they speak. And they say, as his enforcer, I slaughtered thousands, without question. I was born into poverty. This was the only thing I was good at. This was the only way I could escape. Stop talking! Misery. But mortality was the ultimate misery. So I sought godhood. I cultivated. With my slaughter, with every drop of blood, every life I severed from the limb, I cultivated. And when I finally ascended, I went to the city of heaven. And they turned me away. The heavenly liaison themselves told me that my deeds as a mortal were too atrocious. I had slaughtered too many. to be a good fit for the city. And so they sent me to the underworld. They sent me here. And that was when I finally realized that the path of blood and violence and fire I had taken was not worth it. That I had choices when I was alive, but I always chose the path of the blade.
Stop talking!
I am nothing if not regret. I am nothing if not a broken heart. I tried to hide in the underworld. I kept my place as a lowly barkeep until the day your
Enough!
queen assigned me to be your mentor. That was the biggest mistake of my unlife. I destroyed you. I ruined you.
Enough! I am strong. I am stronger than you have ever been. I understand what the tenets mean, even if you don't, even if you shy away from them. You don't know me. You didn't make me. She made me. The first fallen, the Lord of Death.
Yes. Yes, she made you. But I trained you. I know what you are capable of. You are capable of so much more than just violence. If you let yourself become.
I am becoming. This is my becoming. I walked through God after God, demon after demon, who would not look me in the eyes. Because of my failure, I will not fail again. You will not make me fail again. I will save her. I will do as I have meant to do for 100 years and 100 more. You can't stop me. Just get out of the way!
And Suesian's eyes flutter for a half second as you speak. They waver. Perhaps it's the loss of blood. Perhaps it's your insistence on continuing. Perhaps it's both. Perhaps it's something else. They stabilize themselves, and when they open their eyes, they are as steely and precise and as focused and determined as you have ever seen them. And they say, I cannot step aside. I am sorry, Litany, but I cannot let you pass. I made the wrong choices when I was on the cradle. I will finally make the right one now. And they lunge forward. And on that perfect lunge, perfect form, no openings aside from the opening of their heart, the opening of that weak heart that they're showing you now. It's a weakness, isn't it, Litany? Is it, Litany? What is that? And you see it. For the first time, you see your former mentor's downfall. It cracks open, as bright as a star. A star which you've never seen before. There is no sky here in the underworld, but still, a star. Guilt.
I'm gonna do something right now.
Oh boy, okay.
Litany sees the guilt. And they feel it harmonize against their shame. The two voices rise into fever pitch, into a scream drowned out by blood. Still knee-deep in the water that made them, in the blood that made them. Litany lunges, not out of the way, not to parry, not to block, not to punch. They lunge for the blade in the ground. And I would like to wield a power. Not my own. Theirs. Suesian's. Because yes, they might have trained me, but I learned everything from them. And I know that their power is swordsmanship.
You do know that, yes.
And I will use it against them. They will run themselves through on my blade. On their blade.
Okay, you know their downfall. You're confronting them in their true form. All of the prerequisites have been met. So I need to ask you right now, would you like to kill or spare Suesian?
There is no option. Litany was not made to spare gods. Litany was made to kill them. And I don't even think they know how. It's not a question of want. It's a question of capacity, ability. Suesian is not the first god to fall at their hand. And I would like to kill them. I will kill them.
Okay. That's a crucible move, Litany. So, when you confront a god in their true form and exploit their downfall to kill them, describe how you slay them and roll 2d6.
As Suesian comes at them, Litany takes that blade, one of the twin blades of sorrow, and holds the pommel against their chest, against their heart, where their heart should be, their soul, that empty cavern inside of them. And they just let their mentor run into it. They let Suesian impale themselves on their own grief, on their own guilt, on the shame they both share.
You move faster than the eye can perceive. They're coming at you. You grab, they're there, right on top of you. Breathing heavy, their own blade pointed not at any vital organ, but the dull side of it is drawn against your neck. Roll 2d6 for me, please. No modifiers, just like suffering your 5th strain. This is completely up to fate.
4.
That's a miss. Okay. You still kill them, but on a miss, they bestow a curse upon you with their dying breath. These are their last words to you. They speak this to you, Litany. As the edges of their body start to dissipate into mist and roll down the current of the crimson river like fog off the surface of a god's breath, and Suesian says to you, "Thou shalt not know peace from the blood thou hast spilt today. No matter how much I wish it upon you, child." And their hand almost touches your face, almost, and then it dissipates into mist as well, and their eyes are the last thing to go. And they are gone. So typically in Godkiller, no matter the outcome of your roll to kill a god, you seize a semblance of their power. But because you are a vessel made by Queen Tigu, that power goes to her instead. You do not gain the power of swordsmanship. This was for naught. This was not to make yourself stronger. It has only ever been to empower your maker. And now there is nothing remaining of Suesian but 2 blades stained with blood.
Fuck! And Litany throws the blade down, fast.
It joins its brother, clatters into the river.
They can't look at them. They can't look at the blades. They can't. They did it. The path is made. But those words keep echoing around the inside of their brain. I didn't want you to do it. Why? Why? This is not the first time Litany has killed a god. It's countless. At this point, they've killed so many. Training, again and again, Find the downfall, find the heart, pierce it, pull it out. Why does this feel different? Why does it feel... No, it's not wrong. It couldn't be wrong. They had to. There was no other choice. This is their destiny. This is the path to redemption. Suesian was wrong. Suesian put them in this position. Litany should hate them. Litany does hate them. Right?
Hey. And Tiansheng is there. You don't know how, you don't know when, but she's there in front of you. And there's something on her face between shock, disbelief, horror, and something else. Something you have never, ever seen on someone else's face before, pointed at you. It's soft, and how does it make you feel?
Wrong. Empathy is not an emotion that Litany has ever known.
Hey, right. I don't know how you did that, because as cultivators, even we can't draw blood, much less kill. And they seem to be your... You know what? Not my place, not the time. We should go. Yaolan is waiting.
Yes. 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 The seal.
Yes. She reaches into the sash and pulls out her river seal, which up close now, as she squares her shoulders toward the Ascension Gate, we see that it looks like a triangular shattered piece of pottery, maybe, that once existed, based on the curvature of it, part of a gourd, perhaps? She holds it up to the perfect center of the Ascension Gate, and for a second nothing happens. And then you feel it. The magic of the river. Strings of power emanate outward from the river seal, lighting up bright white, like mist, like lucent fog, and the pillars of bone vibrate, and in the center, a huge miasma of mist explodes into being, obscuring the other side of the river. You don't see it anymore. All that stretches from pillar to pillar, stream to tile, is mist. Swirling and swirling, bursting into existence from that nexus point of the river shard, the river seal. Okay, take my hand? Come on, I can't really hold this open for too long. It takes a lot of focus and energy.
In a split second, Litany chooses not to look back at the only home they've ever known. They do not turn their gaze back to the palace. They do not look upon the obsidian fields. They do not even look down for a single second into the river of blood that birthed them. They reach out with fingers stained blue and take her hand.
Whew. Cold fingers it is. All right, mortal realm, here it comes. And a massive pillar of light washes over the both of you as you step forward through the gate. And everything turns to mist. And when the mist finally clears, you're in a place you have never been before. You, my dear Godkiller, are in the cradle.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Godkiller Last Hope. If you've been enjoying this series, please consider joining Transplanter's Patreon at patreon.com/transplanterrpg. It's the best way to support us for as little as $3 a month, so we can continue bringing great performances like this one. If you can't spare the funds, please consider leaving a positive review or comment, posting about us on social media, or sharing the show with a friend that you think will enjoy us. Thanks to the support of our audience, we are continually able to do this awesome work. And you can purchase the ash can of Godkiller RPG on itch.io/by Connie Chong. The games for release will be published through Evil Hat Productions in 2025. And as always, our sponsors for this series are Frivolous Bear Studios and Hero Forge. Thank you for helping us create these powerful stories. And with that, our game comes to a close for now. We'll see you next time, right here on Transplanar RPG.
Oh my goodness. Hello again, folks. Wow.
Do you mean ow? Is the word you're
Ow.
looking for ow? It sounds close to wow, but it's actually ow.
I know. What the hell was that?
Why did I do that? What
was
the
that?
hell is wrong
Why
with
did
us?
we do that? What is wrong with us? That was sick. That was depraved.
I don't know them. I
Yeah.
can't be held accountable for that. That was all the club sandwich. That was
That was the club sandwich speaking for sure. Oh my goodness. Well, thank you all so much for tuning in, for celebrating Godkiller Last Hope with us, and for helping us raise money for Care for Gaza. We have raised $250, which was our goal for the evening. Thank you all so much. For those of you who gave, those of you who just tuned in and watched, those of you who commented in chat, those of you who helped, recycle our social media posts and whatnot. That's not the right word. Repost our social media posts.
reduce, reuse, recycle. Whoa, our social media posts?
social media posts. Well, anyway, thank you all so much. Jinx, you owe me a soda see or a little kissy. That is truly so incredible. Your generosity continues to really warm my heart. We're going to be back to keep the love going tomorrow. That's Tuesday, June 24th at 8 p.m. US Eastern Time with a rerun of Last Hope episodes 3 and 4. We will see you back here, same time, same place.
That was really embarrassing for me for a number of reasons. I was really don't listen to what I was flashing with my hands because I held up three or I don't even know what happened. Anyway, in the meantime, this is the last week. Just about the last week, the last few days, last 10 to 14 days maybe, that you can submit your fan works to our anniversary zine. We are releasing a series of themed prompts for anyone looking for inspiration or a challenge, which you can find on our Patreon, our Discord, or our social media channels. And yes, you can, and please do, submit any old fan works that you've made over the last 5 years to be featured in our anniversary zine. You can use !zine in chat to share your art, illustrations, crafts, writing, cosplays, games, essays, creative endeavors of any sorts and kinds that you've made with us to celebrate 5 years here on Transplanar RPG.
That's right. I know folks were talking about like a fic in chat, in the Twitch chat. I would read that.
I'm talking about a fic.
I'm talking about fics. Wait, so I see an Antigu. Like, that's big brain. I don't know.
That kind of has been
ship?
like little to me. Like, to me, you know? And after that, like, I think about how much Sigu knows about Litany going up. to the underworld and like feel, because she would feel the power, right?
Mm-hmm. She would sense that Suisun died. Yeah. Was killed by Litany. Yup. Bitter exes?
Like, but bitter in a longing way, you know?
Yeah, I know.
I know.
Well,
Ooh.
they're together now. Don't worry about it.
Doomed Yuri,
thank you
my
all.
beloved.
I know, doomed old woman Yuri. Woman with an asterisk next to it. Thank you all so much for tuning in to our director's cut rerun of Last Hope. We will see you tomorrow for episodes 3 and 4. But in the meantime, we're going to be rating someone really awesome, no doubt, on Twitch. So use the raid message in chat. If you're on YouTube, hop on over to the Twitch chat. And in the meantime, journey well, transplanters. See you tomorrow.
Journey well, transplanters. Stick around. We're gonna go raid Val.
Yes, we're gonna go raid somewhere. Oh yes, we're gonna say what? We're gonna say hi to Val.
Val, we're coming for you.
Yes, we're coming for you.
Bye. See you tomorrow.